Everyone is lying to you. Reincarnation, eternal sleep after death, all nonsense. The truth is, you can't actually die. You can never truly end an unhappy life. Sounds crazy, right? But according to quantum physics, death might just be an illusion that doesn't exist. This is called quantum immortality. Once you understand this, your spine will tingle and you'll question if this world is even real. Imagine this. You pull the trigger on a gun. In this world, you fall down dead. But in another split universe, the bullet jams. You survive without a scratch. Your consciousness only stays in the universe where you're alive. This keeps repeating forever. Whether you face a car crash, disease, or accident, there's always a universe where you survive. You think you've only lived 20 years, but in some dimension, you might have lived billions of years, watching loved ones die one by one while you're trapped forever in time's prison. Can't live, can't die. This isn't science fiction. In 1957, Hugh Everett proposed the many worlds theory. It shocked the entire physics world. I know what you're thinking. This is just a crazy idea, right? Why can't I die? Hold on. To understand this logic, we need to peel back the fake layers of our world. You think you're sitting firmly in a chair. You think the screen in front of you is solid matter. But under a physicist's microscope, this so-called reality doesn't exist. Take anything around you and zoom in. Take a speck of dust on your hand and magnify it 1,000 times. What do you see? Bacteria. Complex, microscopic monsters. Keep zooming. You see the cell nucleus. Life's blueprint. Zoom 10 more times. You see tangled DNA chains. So far, everything seems normal. But what if we keep zooming to the extreme? You'll see jumping atoms. Here's where it gets weird. Inside atoms, it's mostly empty. 99.9999% is empty space. If the nucleus is a marble, the electrons spinning around it are like a fly several miles away. If it's all empty, why does it feel solid when I touch it? Why can't your hand pass through a table? That's actually the repelling force between electrons tricking your sense of touch. Simply put, you've never truly touched anything. You only feel force. In the smallest building blocks of our world, electrons, photons, quarks, they're not the well-behaved little balls you imagine. They're complete maniacs. This brings us to the experiment that bothered Einstein until he died, the one Feynman said nobody understands, the Double-Slit Experiment. Many people see this experiment as strong evidence for parallel universes. It's the first time humans glimpsed a bug in God's source code. Simply put, scientists shoot photons one by one through two narrow slits, hitting a screen behind. Logically, if you throw rocks through two doors, you should see two marks on the wall, right? But something strange happened. The screen showed alternating light and dark stripes, like water ripples. This means photons aren't bullets, they're waves. They went through the left slit and the right slit at the same time. They interfered with themselves. Okay, that's weird, but acceptable. Light is both particle and wave, right? The real horror show starts next. Scientists didn't believe it. They put a camera by the slits to watch how photons go through both slits at once. The instant the camera turned on, the photon seemed to gain consciousness. It sensed we were watching. The stripes on the screen vanished instantly. It became obedient particles creating two lines. When you don't watch it, it's in two places at once. When you watch it, it immediately picks one position to show you. Think how scary this is. It's like you have a cat at home. When you leave, it's dancing, reading, doing backflips, even in the kitchen and bedroom at the same time. But the moment you open the door, it immediately lies in its bed pretending to sleep. Our act of observing determines the state of matter. This means in the microscopic world, there's no definite reality, only countless possibilities stacked together. So here's the question. If microscopic particles are uncertain, why are we, who are made of particles, certain? To explain this huge contradiction, the famous Schrödinger's cat was born. Put a cat in a box connected to a poison device. The device is controlled by a radioactive atom. This atom has a 50% chance of decaying. If you don't observe it, the atom exists in a superposition of decayed and not decayed. Through chain reaction, the cat also exists in a superposition of both dead and alive. Notice, not the cat might be dead or alive, but it's simultaneously in both states of death and life, overlapping. Until you open the box, the universe is forced to choose. The cat is either dead or alive. This nearly drove physicists crazy back then. How can a cat be both dead and alive? While everyone was stuck thinking observation causing collapse was too absurd, in 1957, a Princeton University grad student named Hugh Everett stepped forward. He proposed a mind-blowing idea. Who says the cat must be one or the other? Who says observation makes the wave function collapse? Everett said, when you open the box, the world doesn't collapse, it splits. In that moment, the universe divides like a cell into two. In universe A, you see a living cat. In universe B, that version of you sees a dead cat. Both versions of you are real. Both have their own memories, but you can never see each other. This is the many worlds theory. This means there's no such thing as possibility. Everything that can happen has actually happened. This morning you wondered whether to drink coffee or milk. Don't worry about it. In one universe, you drank coffee. In another universe, you drank milk. Years ago, you wondered whether to stay in the big city or go back home. Stop regretting. Another version of you is living that other life right now, even in life or death moments. Remember quantum immortality from the beginning? If you cross the street and a car rushes toward you, in countless splitting universes, some versions of you got hit, but in one branch, the driver hit the brakes. Your consciousness naturally continues in that living body. This sounds like cheap comfort, right? But for Everett, who proposed this theory, it was a lifelong tragedy. When he submitted this paper that could shatter the physics establishment to Niels Bohr, he got ruthless mockery and coldness. The scientific community couldn't accept a crazy universe that splits infinitely every second. Heartbroken, Everett completely left physics. He switched to defense research, became a heavy smoker and drinker, depressed every day. At age 51, he died of a heart attack in his bed. If parallel universes are real, then in another universe, Everett might have become a respected figure. But in our universe, when he died, he was still a forgotten outcast. The most heartbreaking thing happened years later. Everett's daughter Elizabeth suffered from mental illness. After a serious suicide attempt, she left this world. In the note police found, Elizabeth left a tear-jerking sentence. She said she didn't die, she just went to another parallel universe to find her dad. This might be a crazy person's rambling, but it might also be the most beautiful physics love letter in this world. If the many worlds theory is true, she didn't lie. In some branch universe, she really opened the door and saw her father alive, who deeply loved her. But this is just theory after all. Is there hard evidence? We live in an age that demands proof. As technology advances, scientists started searching the universe for traces left by other universes. The evidence might already be here, and it's frighteningly big. If you've seen the cosmic microwave background radiation map, that photo recording the afterglow of the Big Bang, you'll notice the temperature distribution across the universe is very uniform. But in the southern hemisphere, in the direction of the constellation Eridanus, there's a huge weird area. The temperature there is much colder than surroundings, like a perfect blue void. Scientists call it the cold spot. According to our current universe model, this thing shouldn't exist. If it formed naturally from the Big Bang, the probability of such a large cold spot is lower than winning the lottery jackpot 10 times in a row. So how did it get there? The most exciting explanation is this might be a universe-level car crash. Imagine our universe is a giant soap bubble floating in higher dimensional space, and next to us, there are countless other bubble universes. When our bubble collides and squeezes against the neighboring bubble, the energy exchange leaves a permanent bruise at our universe's edge. This cold spot is that bruise. It's evidence of another parallel universe actually hitting ours. And that's not the only strange thing. Since that time machine called the James Webb Space Telescope launched, the photos it sent back made astronomers' jaws drop. It saw things that shouldn't exist. Just a few 100 million years after the Big Bang, theoretically the universe was still a mess with barely any stars. But the Webb telescope photographed several fully mature galaxies. These galaxies are huge, bright, clearly structured, like a newborn baby with a 40-year-old face. This completely violates current cosmic evolution theory, unless our universe isn't the first birth, or maybe this matter leaked from other universes. Physicist Michio Kaku once made an analogy. It's like you're listening to the radio. Your frequency is 101.9. You think this is the only sound, but actually your living room is simultaneously filled with 88.5, 94.7 various frequency waves. They pass through your body, through walls. Your radio just can't receive them, but occasionally, just occasionally, signals cross over. Have you experienced these moments? You go somewhere you've never been. Suddenly the scene feels incredibly familiar. You even know what the person next to you will say next. This is déjà vu, also called the hippocampus effect, or even large-scale group memory deviation, the Mandela Effect. Thousands of people swear they remember Pikachu's tail tip is black, but in reality, it's all yellow. Is our collective memory broken? Or did our consciousness accidentally brush against the edge of that parallel timeline in some instant? Maybe in that universe, Pikachu's tail is black. And when two universe orbits got too close, our memories experienced a tiny quantum entanglement. At this point, I know you feel powerless. If there are infinite parallel universes, if every choice corresponds to a new world, does our effort now even matter? Since a super rich version of me exists, isn't this struggling version of me just unlucky? Actually, we can look at parallel universe theory from another angle. It might be the gentlest remedy for this world full of regrets. We all have regrets. Regret not studying 2 more pages for that test. Regret not holding back harsh words during that argument. Regret not holding that person's hand at the last moment. But the many worlds theory tells you those regrets are filled. In this universe, you messed up, but in that branch, you succeeded. The person you couldn't save is drinking with you in that world. The dream you couldn't achieve has become reality in that world. Even that crazy quantum suicide experiment, if it's real, might be hinting that consciousness might truly be indestructible. We're like ghosts jumping between infinite channels, forever searching for that universe that lets us keep existing. Of course, all this currently stays in theory and mathematical formulas. The universe is not only stranger than we imagine, but stranger than we can imagine. You watching the screen just blinked. Congratulations. In that instant, the universe split again. In one world, you swiped away from this video, but in this world, you heard it to the end. I'm grateful that in this specific universe branch, at this moment, we had this connection.